Chapters 22 to 27, Book 1, Volume 1 of Morte Darthur. This is a Librvox recording. All Librvox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Read by Tim Bulkley of bigbible.org. Morte Darthur, Volume 1, by Sir Thomas Malory. Book 1, Chapters 22 to 27. Chapter 22. How Griflet was made a knight, and jousted with a knight. "Thou art full young and tender of age," said Arthur, "for to take so high an order on thee." "Sir," said Griflet, "I beseech you make me knight." "Sir," said Merlin, "it were great pity to lose Griflet, for he will be a passing good man when he is of age, abiding with you the term of his life. And if he adventure his body with yonder knight at the fountain, it is in great peril if he ever come again, for he is one of the best knights of the world, and the strongest man of arms." "Well," said Arthur. So at the desire of Griflet the king made him knight. "Now," said Arthur unto Sir Griflet, "sith I have made you knight, thou must give me a gift." "What will ye?" said Griflet. "Thou shalt promise me by the faith of thy body, when thou hast jousted with the knight at the fountain, whether it fall ye be on foot or on horseback, that right so shall ye come again unto me without making any more debate." "I will promise you," said Griflet, "as you desire." Then took Griflet his horse in great haste, and dressed his shield, and took a spear in his hand. So he rode a great wallop till he came to the fountain, and thereby he saw a rich pavilion, and thereby under a cloth stood a fair horse well saddled and bridled, and on a tree a shield of divers colours, and a great spear. Then Griflet smote on the shield with the butt of his spear, and that shield fell down to the ground. With that the knight came out of the pavilion and said, "Fair knight, why smote ye down my shield?" "For I will joust with you," said Griflet. "It is better ye do not," said the knight, "for ye are but young, and late made knight, and your might is nothing to mine." "As for that," said Griflet, "I will joust with you." "That is me loath," said the knight, "but sith I must needs, I will dress me thereto." "Of whence be ye?" said the knight. "Sir, I am of Arthur's court." So the two knights ran together, that Griflet's spear all to shivered, and therewithal he smote Griflet through the shield and the left side, and brake the spear, that the truncheon stuck in his body, that horse and knight fell down. Chapter 23. How 12 knights came from Rome and asked truage for this land of Arthur, and how Arthur fought with a knight. When the knight saw him lie so on the ground, he alighted, and was passing heavy, for he weened he had slain him. Then he unlaced his helm and gat him wind, and so with the truncheon he set him on his horse, and so betook him to God, and said he had a mighty heart, and that if he might live he would prove a passing good knight. So Sir Griflet rode to the court, where great dole was made for him, but through good leeches he was healed and saved. Right so came into the court 12 knights, and were aged men. They came from the Emperor of Rome, and they asked of Arthur truage for this realm, other else the Emperor would destroy him and his land. "Well," said King Arthur, "ye are messengers, therefore ye may say what ye will, other else ye should die therefore. But this is mine answer: I owe the Emperor no truage, nor none will I hold him. But on a fair field I shall give him my truage, that shall be with a sharp spear, or else with a sharp sword, and that shall not be long, by my father's soul, Uther Pendragon." And therewith the messengers departed passingly wroth, and King Arthur was wroth, for in evil time came they then. For the king was passingly wroth for the hurt of Sir Griflet, and so he commanded a privy man of his chamber, that or it be day, his best horse and armour with all that longeth unto his person be without the city or tomorrow day. Right so, or tomorrow day, he met with his man and his horse, and so mounted up, and dressed his shield, and took his spear, and bade his chamberlain tarry there till he came again. So Arthur rode a soft pace till it was day, and then he was ware of 3 churls chasing Merlin, and would have slain him. Then the king rode unto them, and bade them flee, churls. Then were they afeared when they saw a knight, and fled. O Merlin, said Arthur, here hadst thou been slain for all thy crafts, had I not been. Nay, said Merlin, not so, for I could save myself, an I would, and thou art more near thy death than I am, for thou goest to the deathward, and be God not thy friend. So as they went thus talking, they came to the fountain, and the rich pavilion there by it. Then King Arthur was where sat a knight, armed, in a chair. Sir knight, said Arthur, for what cause abidest thou here, that there may no knight ride this way? But if he joust with thee, said the king. I rede thee leave that custom, said Arthur. This custom, said the knight, I have used, and I will use, maugre who saith nay, and who is grieved with my custom, let him amend it that will. I will amend it, said Arthur. I shall defend thee, said the knight. Anon he took his horse, and dressed his shield, and took a spear, and they met so hard either in others' shields, that all to shivered their spears. Therewith anon Arthur pulled out his sword. Nay, not so, said the knight. It is fairer, said the knight, that we twain run more together with sharp spears. I will well, said Arthur. An I had any more spears? I have enow, said the knight. So there came a squire, and brought 2 good spears, and Arthur chose one, and he another. So they spurred their horses, and came together with all their mights, that either brake their spears to their hands. Then Arthur set hand on his sword. Nay, said the knight, ye shall do better. Ye are a passing good jouster as ever I met withal. And once, for the love of the high order of knighthood, let us joust once again. I assent me, said Arthur. Anon they were brought 2 great spears, and every knight gat a spear, and therewith they ran together that Arthur's spear all to shivered, but the other knight hit him so hard in the midst of the shield that horse and man fell to the earth. And therewith Arthur was eager, and pulled out his sword, and said, I will assay thee, sir knight, on foot, for I have lost the honour on horseback. I will be on horseback, said the knight. Then was Arthur wroth, and he dressed his shield toward him with his sword drawn. When the knight saw that, he alighted, for him thought no worship to have a knight at such a vale, he to be on horseback, and he on foot. And so he alighted, and dressed his shield unto Arthur. And there began a long battle with many great strokes, and so hewed with their swords that cantles flew in the fields, and much blood they bled both, that all the place there as they fought was overbled with blood, and thus they fought long and rested them. And then they went to battle again, and so hurtled together like 2 rams that either fell to the earth. So at last they smote together, that both their swords met even together. But the sword of the knight smote King Arthur's sword in 2 pieces, wherefore he was heavy. Then said the knight unto Arthur, Thou art my dounger, whether me list to save thee or slay thee, and but thou yield thee to overcome and recreant, thou shalt die. As for death, said King Arthur, welcome be it when it cometh, but to yield me unto thee as recreant, I had liefer die than to be so shamed. And therewithal the king leapt unto Pellinore, and took him by the middle, and threw him down, and raced off his helm. When the knight felt that he was adread, for he was a passing big man of might, and anon he thought Arthur under him, and raced off his helm, and would have smitten off his head. Chapter 24. How Merlin saved Arthur's life, and threw an enchantment on King Pellinore, and made him sleep. Therewithal came Merlin, and said, Knight, hold thy hand, for an thou slayest that knight that puttest this realm in greatest damage that ever was realm, for this knight is a man of more worship than thou wottest of. Why, who is he? said the knight. It is King Arthur. Then he would have slain him for dread of his wrath, and heaved up his sword, and therewith Merlin cast an enchantment to the knight, that he fell to the earth in a great sleep. Then Merlin took up King Arthur, and rode forth on the knight's horse. Alas, said Arthur, what hast thou done, Merlin? Hast thou slain this good knight by thy crafts? There liveth not so worshipful a knight as he was. I had liefer than the stint of my land for a year that he was alive. Care ye not, said Merlin, for he is wholer than ye, for he is but asleep, and will awake within 3 hours. I told you, said Merlin, that a knight he was. Here had ye been slain, had I not been. Also there liveth not a bigger knight than he is one, and he shall hereafter do you right good service, and his name is Pellinore, and he shall have 2 sons that shall be passing good men, save one they shall have no fellow of prowess and of good living, and their names shall be Percival of Wales and Lamorak of Wales. And he shall tell you the name of your own son, begotten of your sister, that shall be the destruction of all this realm. Chapter 25. How Arthur, by mean of Merlin, gat Excalibur his sword of the Lady of the Lake. Right so the king and he departed, and went unto an hermit that was a good man and a great leech. So the hermit searched all his wounds, and gave him good salves. So the king was there 3 days, and then his wounds were all amended, so that he might ride and go, and so departed. And as they rode, Arthur said, I have no sword. No force, said Merlin. Hereby is a sword that shall be yours, an I may. So they rode till they came to a lake, the which was a fair water and broad. In the midst of the lake Arthur was ware of an arm, clothed in white samite, that held a fair sword in that hand. Lo, said Merlin, yonder is that sword that I spake of. With that they saw a damosel going upon the lake. What damosel is that? said Arthur. That is the Lady of the Lake, said Merlin, and within that lake is a rock, and therein is as fair a place as any on earth, and richly beseen. And this damosel will come to you anon, and then speak ye fair to her, that she will give you that sword. Anon withal came the damosel unto Arthur, and saluted him, and he her again. Damosel, said Arthur, what sword is that yonder arm holdeth above the water? I would it were mine, for I have no sword. Sir Arthur, king, said the damosel, that sword is mine, and if ye will give me a gift when I ask it you, ye shall have it. By my faith, said Arthur, I will give ye what gift ye will ask. Well, said the damosel, go ye into yonder barge, and row yourself to the sword, and take it and the scabbard with you, and I will ask my gift when I see my time. So Sir Arthur and Merlin alighted, and tied their horses to 2 trees. And so they went into the ship. And when they came to the sword that the hand held, Sir Arthur took it up by the handles, and took it with him, and the arm and the hand went under the water. And so they came unto the land and rode forth. And then Sir Arthur saw a rich pavilion. What signifieth yonder pavilion? It is the knight's pavilion, said Merlin, that ye fought with last, Sir Pellinore. But he is out, he is not there. He hath ado with a knight of yours that hight Eglaim, that they have foughten together. But at the last Eglaim fled, and else he had been dead, and he hath chased him even to Carlion, and we shall meet with him anon in the highway. That is well said, said Arthur. Now I have a sword, now I will wage battle with him and be avenged on him. Sir, you shall not so, said Merlin, for the knight is weary of fighting and chasing, so that ye have no worship to have ado with him. Also, he will not be lightly matched of one knight living, and therefore it is my counsel, let him pass. For he shall do you good service in short time, and his sons after his days. Also, ye shall see that day in short space. You shall be right glad to give him your sister to wed. When I see him, I will do as ye advise, said Arthur. Then Sir Arthur looked on the sword, and liked it passing well. Whether liketh you better, said Merlin, the sword or the scabbard? Me liketh better the sword, said Arthur. Ye are more unwise, said Merlin, for the scabbard is worth 10 of the swords. For whiles ye have the scabbard upon you, ye shall never lose no blood, nor be ye never so sore wounded. Therefore keep well the scabbard always with you. So they rode unto Carlion, and by the way they met with Sir Pellinore, but Merlin had done such a craft that Pellinore saw not Arthur, and he passed by without any words. I marvel, said Arthur, that the knight would not speak. Sir, said Merlin, he saw you not, for an he had seen you, ye had not lightly departed. So they came unto Carlion, whereof his knights were passing glad. And when they heard of his adventures, they marvelled that he would jeopard his person so alone. But all men of worship said it was merry to be under such a chieftain, that would put his person in adventure as other poor knights did. Chapter 26. How tidings came to Arthur that King Rience had overcome 11 kings, and how he desired Arthur's beard to trim his mantle. This meanwhile came a messenger from King Rience of North Wales, and king he was of all Ireland and of many isles. And this was his message: greeting well King Arthur in his manner wise, saying that King Rience had discomfited and overcome 11 kings, and everych of them did him homage, and that was this: they gave him their beards clean flayed off, as much as there was. Wherefore the messenger came for King Arthur's beard, for King Rience had purfled a mantle with kings' beards, and there lacked one place of the mantle. Wherefore he sent for his beard, or else he would enter into his lands and burn and slay, and never leave till he have the head and the beard. Well, said Arthur, thou hast said thy message, the which is the most villainous and lewdest message that ever man heard sent unto a king. Also thou mayest see my beard is full young yet to make a purfle of it. But tell thou thy king this: I owe him none homage, nor none of mine elders, but or it be long to, he shall do me homage on both his knees, or else he shall lose his head, by the faith of my body. For this is the most shamefullest message that ever I heard speak of. I have espied thy king met never yet with worshipful man. But tell him I will have his head without he do me homage. Then the messenger departed. Now is there any here, said Arthur, that knoweth King Rience? Then answered a knight that hight Naram: Sir, I know the king well. He is a passing good man of his body, as few be living, and a passing proud man. And, sir, I doubt ye not he will make war on you with a mighty puissance. Well, said Arthur, I shall ordain for him in short time. Chapter 27. How all the children were sent for that were born on May Day, and how Mordred was saved. Then King Arthur let send for all the children born on May Day, begotten of lords and born of ladies. For Merlin told King Arthur that he that should destroy him should be born on May Day. Wherefore he sent for them all, upon pain of death. And so there were found many lords' sons, and all were sent unto the king. And so was Mordred sent by King Lot's wife. And all were put in a ship to the sea, and some were 4 weeks old, and some less. And so by fortune the ship drave unto a castle, and was all to riven, and destroyed in the most part, save that Mordred was cast up, and a good man found him, and nourished him till he was 14 years old, and then he brought him to the court, as it rehearsed afterward, towards the end of the death of King Arthur. So many lords and barons of this realm were displeased, for their children were so lost, and many put the white on Merlin more than on Arthur, so that for dread and for love they held their peace. But when the messenger came to King Rience, then was he wood out of measure, and purveyed him for a great host, as it rehearsed after in the book of Balin le Savage, that followed next after. How by adventure Balin gat the sword. Explicit liber primus. Incipit liber secundus. End of Book 1, chapters 22 to 27. Read by Tim Bulkley of BigBible.org.